Is that loud enough? You need to be a little louder, do you think?
Check. Hello, folks. Hey everybody. My name is Carolyn R. Russell, and I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this afternoon to Jen Perry's beautiful gallery of books. Thank you so much, Jen, for gracing Newburyport with this amazing bookshop, Illume, and for all you do to celebrate the arts in our community. When the fabulous East on 11 had to bow out due to illness, another awesome music maker stepped in. He's a singer, guitarist, and songwriter who plays with Charlie and the Hustle. He's also my husband, Charlie Russell. We thought it might be fun to go back and forth today between music and spoken word. First, a bit of background. How many folks have heard or know anything about flash fiction? Somebody want to give me a definition?
It's short.
Yes, it is short, like me.
It has a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes, absolutely. It has the same kind of story arc as any other written work, although it's extremely concise. Most flash fiction is technically under or fewer than 1,000 words. Some publishers will go up to 1,200 or 1,500 words, but it's very, very short. The shortest kind of flash fiction is often termed microfiction. It's enjoying a boom right now, which is interesting. I've wondered if it isn't a perfect written form for our times, as it requires a minimum of time commitment in this extremely busy world of ours. It delivers a full literary experience in less than 5 or 6 reading minutes. While flash, sometimes called short stories or sudden fiction, is currently in vogue, it has roots in ancient texts such as fables, parables, and Buddhist koans. Many modern writers are known for longer works and they've also written brilliant flash fiction. What's the most famous flash story? I know at least 3 of you know it. It's often attributed to Ernest Hemingway, though that's probably not true. It's probably apocryphal. Anyone want to take a stab? Andrea?
For sale, baby shoes,
Exactly. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. Some insist it was probably taken from an actual classified ad. I prefer to think it was intentionally written because it makes me happier. Many writers use flash fiction as a creative playground to experiment with different storytelling approaches. We might play with unreliable narrators, nonlinear narratives, unconventional structures, or experimental language. Flash fiction means writers must condense a story into a tiny space, which can lead to innovative and unconventional storytelling, but again, not all flash literature is experimental. Some flash adheres to traditional narrative structures and focuses on concise storytelling without experimental elements. The nature of flash literature depends on the goals and preferences of the writer. Some may prefer to use flash fiction as a way to explore new techniques and push the boundaries of storytelling, while others may use it to tell a more classic, straightforward story in a very abbreviated space. Flash can be as experimental or conventional as the writer chooses, which makes it a malleable and, I think, really exciting form of creative writing. The flash literature in my new collection death, and other survival strategies. Thanks, hon. Features work that might be identified as fitting into either or both categories, depending on the piece. The first story I'll read is called Triquetra. It veers toward the experimental. The others are a bit more traditionally structured. The last story, a micro, was just accepted for publication this week. Take it away, Char. The story is called Triquetra. It's 202 words. She asked me to write postcards to her because she loved them, because they reminded her of better times when she would gather her long cotton skirts together and shape them into stiff feathers of lonesome clouds like Stevie Nicks and say she wanted to rock my gypsy soul and spin with her arms over her head, her hands like the shimmer of stars that beckon to sailors in the frail pink light of evening's end. I took her to appointments, and we passed bottomless hours deep inside our San Francisco tales, even though they were now decades old and one of us had died already, and maybe that was part of why. And when time ran out, we talked about what message did I have for him. And we wondered if the bedroom eyes that got him sick were still as long-lashed. And if he was beautiful still, as he was when we were three on the floor at the I-Beam on Haight Street dancing to every breath he'd take and dreaming it'd always be like that. Gold, gold, golden. And I never wrote the damn postcards, at least not more than a couple of them before forgetting to remember. The next story I'm going to read is 341 words. It's called Grit, and it's going to be followed by an original by my husband, Charlie Russell. The name of that song is called Unravel. The girl was wet-nosed and unkempt, blinking against the cruel light of my cell phone's high glare. She turned her head back into the scarred nylon of her sleeping bag and stayed still. Although, I don't know, it seemed that she thought I might disappear if she could no longer see me. I sat down on the grimy cement stairs a few feet away from her spot in the alley and waited. She seemed to fall asleep after a while, but I checked that she was still breathing every 10 minutes or so, while keeping an eye on my backpack. A couple of hours later, she sat up. I went to her and set up my old camping lantern. I steadied her by its light as she drew her legs up under her chin and locked her fingers around her knees. Dark smudges under her eyes accentuated glittery cheekbones. Hard to tell if it was makeup or grit. She watched as I drew some items from my bag, a box of Kleenex, a tube of Neosporin, water. When she reached for them, I tried to breathe slowly. Her inner arms looked almost purple, their long, thin length punctuated by darker spots that clustered near her elbow. I handed her sandwiches next, along with some multivitamins. I thought I saw a wisp of a smile when she took those, but it was hard to tell, and in any case, the expression was fleeting. I told myself that she had appreciated the irony. It made me feel better to believe she was still in there somewhere. The girl threw what I'd given her into a plastic shopping bag, either for future use or sale. I had no way of knowing. When she stood, I resigned myself to the end of our time together. As she moved away, she said, "Thanks, Mom." When I could no longer see her in the gloom, I pulled out my marked up city map. I found the alleyway and drew an X on it in red Sharpie. She never slept in the same place twice.
Somewhere long ago, somebody said something unkind, and then they sat back and watched the whole thing. Watch it unwind, watch the whole thing unwind, unravel, like a mountain tumble into gravel, unravel. Took a little while, took a little time. Then we sat back and watched the whole thing slowly unwind. Watch the damn thing unwind, unravel, crumble into gravel, unravel. Long ago, somebody said something unkind, and then they sat back and watched the whole thing. Watch it unwind, watch the damn thing unwind. Crumble into gravel, unravel.
Yes, that's original by Charlie Russell. His next one after this short story is also original. This is kind of a little murder story, and the next song is affectionately known around our house as Charlie's Irish Murder Ballad. So this little mini is called Grounded. It's not that difficult to get things into the ground, my grandma had told me every spring. It's getting them to come back up, to reach for the sun. That was the hard part. I hoped she was right, and that what I just buried would never see daylight. Dinner alone was strange, but something I felt I could get used to. I was draining a second glass of wine when I heard the thunderclaps, followed by the rush of a murderous downpour. Time will tell, my grandma would have said. I sincerely pray it doesn't say a word.
You ask me if I'll meet you in secret when you get off work at 5:05. You ask me if I'll stray somewhere far, far away, far from these familiar prying eyes. And you ask me if I'll take that thrill Yes, my dear, I pretty well. You ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, ya lass, I pretty well. We'll have a little side session strolling beneath the tree, rolling in the sand dunes by the crashing waves at sea. We lie there in tranquility, harmony and fantasy of a brand new life for you and me. Listen, you'll ask me if I'll take down your husband, make it look like hit and run. You'll meet me in room 12 at the Dubliner Hotel when the dirty deed is done. And you ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, my dear, I pretty well. You ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, ya lass, I pretty well. Now, Constable, I swear I didn't see him there. I'm pretty sure he crossed against the light, but you could hear the engine roar, and that light was red for sure. I never knew that handcuffs were so tight. The camera doesn't lie, it caught my careful eye, lining up to take the target true. The judge banged the gavel clear, and he gave me 20 years for making a merry widow out of you. And you ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, my dear, I pretty well. You ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, ya lass, I pretty well. Now it's 20 years you didn't visit here. No letter, no call, no nothing at all from you. And now I spy and now I see your brand new husband isn't me. And he's getting off work now, that's my cue. Gun the engine at 5:02, lining up to take the target true. And you ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, the lass, I pretty will. You ask me if I'll take that thrill. Yes, ya lass, I will.
Now that's flash fiction right there. This one's called Making Waves. My daughter is singing. Her contralto is muffled as it drifts down from her upstairs bedroom. As always, I find its guileless vocal fry utterly charming. She sounds world-weary at age 7. I go to the foot of the staircase to listen in and maybe eavesdrop on her and her younger sister, who's 5. If I were a boy, I would sail the 7 seas. Sail the 7 seas if I were a boy. Suddenly my blood runs cold, and my thoughts leap madly in all directions. Foremost amongst them, it's impossible to know how many ways you can fail until you have children. It's the one thing above all else that you want to do perfectly. And I've obviously failed miserably in my efforts to raise girls who feel empowered to pursue their dreams. My husband and I had waited 11 years before we were ready to start a family. We moved around a lot for work in those days, and it just felt practical to delay child rearing until we settled down. Plus, I hadn't yet formulated my plan, a coherent, philosophical approach to parenting I hoped might ensure that our kids would someday avoid all of my own mistakes. I time travel back to a day in my early teens. My mother comes home from the market and tells me a story. She'd been at the produce counter trying to find a ripe cantaloupe when a young man appeared at her elbow. When my mother completed her task, sniffing and thumping and performing the other arcane rituals she deployed on a regular basis to choose food she deemed fit for our family, the stranger spoke up. Would you mind telling me which melon came in second? I'm afraid that tale had an outsized effect on me. We had a book of inspirational sayings in our house that I thumbed through whenever I was desperate for something to read. The one that always caught me up short said it's better to teach a person to use a fishing pole than to give them a fish to eat. But I just wanted the fish, not the tedious instructions on how to learn a process I found disgusting. So I totally got Melon Guy. My mother's story confirmed a dangerous theory. I could let some kinds of things slide and still count on the universe to provide me with ripe fruit. Unsurprisingly, this perspective proved increasingly problematic and difficult to shake as I grew older. I vowed that if I were ever brave enough to have kids, I'd make sure that they knew how to fish, especially if they were girls. Now, hearing my second grade daughter yearn for an autonomy she seemed to feel was already out of her reach, I am momentarily stunned. Then I leap up the stairs, 2 at a time, and burst into her room. Honey, I began, you can sail the 7 seas if you want to. You can study and practice and work hard to accomplish anything you'd like. Girls can do everything boys can do. I continue in this vein for quite some time, so caught up in my own alarm that it takes me a while to notice that I'm not letting either girl get a word in edgewise. I finally end my impromptu lecture. My 5-year-old's eyes are huge, like she's seeing Mickey Mouse's head come off so the actor inside can eat pizza. My older daughter puts her hand on my shoulder. Okay, Mom, she says, but I was singing if I were a boat, I would sail the 7 seas. Oh. Who's hungry, I ask, distraction being the last refuge of a chagrined parent. I follow in their wake as they bolt down the stairs, racing toward a future I can barely begin to imagine. That's just going to sink down somewhere. Test. So this is, make it a little bit harder. I need all the reverb I can get these days. This is one of our family's favorite lullabies. Test. Okay, thanks. Well, the sun is slowly sinking down, and the moon is surely rising, and this old world must still be spinning hard, and I still love you. So close your eyes, you can close your eyes, it's alright. We don't know the love song, we can't sing your blues anymore, but we can sing this song. You can sing this song when we're gone. We can't sing the blues anymore. We can sing this song, and you can sing this song when we call. When we're gone. As you can tell, I don't sing as much as Charlie does.
Beautiful. She's got a great voice, doesn't she?
Finally, this last micro of mine sports a very different tone in 52 words. It'll be published in March by Blank Ink. And for those of you who are thinking about trying flash fiction, I heartily recommend Blank Ink as a place to submit your stuff. They take things a little with their word count isn't so fast, and you can do anything a little bit over 50 words or a little bit under 50 words. This story is called Good Housekeeping, and it's 52 words. The night before last, after a long day of wrangling with creditors, I cleaned my refrigerator with Pinot Grigio and a $5 bill. I'm not promoting a new hack. It actually took a long time, and it didn't do a very good job, and now our butter smells weird. I'm just saying.
As I walk through this wicked world, searching for the light in the darkness of insanity, I ask myself, is all hope lost? Is there only pain and hatred and misery? And each time I feel like this inside, one thing that I want to know, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Oh, what's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? As I walk on through troubled times, the spirit gets low downhearted sometimes. Oh, where are the strong? Who are the trusting? Where is the harmony? Oh, sweet harmony. And each time I feel it slipping away, just makes me wanna cry. What's so funny about these love understanding? Oh, what's so funny about these love understanding? Whoa, what's so funny about these love understanding? Carolyn Russell, Carolyn R. Russell. Good work.
Charlie Russell.
So happy to share this afternoon with you guys. Thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
And thank you again, Jen, Perry. Thank you for having Illume here.